All right, thank you all for being here today for an announcement that's important to all residents of the province, in particular our public service employees and their families and the taxpayers of Newfoundland and Labrador. As I've said many times, most recently at the Cabinet Retreat in Corner Brook, that the unfunded pension liability and ensuing pension sustainability is the most serious issue, the most serious financial issue, I should say, that's facing the province today. And while our government has made significant progress in reducing the province's net debt since 2005, it's expected to increase to approximately $9.8 billion in 2014-15. And the major component of this net debt relates to unfunded pensions and other post-retirement liabilities. And despite an investment by the government of Newfoundland and Labrador of more than $4.7 billion in extra special payments since 1997, 1998, including $1.6 billion into the public service pension plan alone, the liabilities have continued to grow. The numbers are indeed staggering. By March 2015, the unfunded pension liability and other post-employment benefits, which are debts of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, are projected to account for approximately 74% of the province's net debt. Even worse, this is expected to reach 85% by 2016-17, almost $9 billion if we don't take any action. The issue is so serious, it's been highlighted by the Auditor General and also by bond rating agencies whose ratings affect the province's cost of borrowing. There is therefore a need for pension reform that ensures that plans are sustainable for our retirees, for current and future employees, and for all taxpayers, and to address the significant growing unfunded liability of all the plans. A number of other public sector pension plans across the country and around the world have faced similar challenges and have resulted in governments taking action, sometimes drastic action, to ensure the future sustainability of the plans. Now, given the importance of this issue to current and future employees, to retirees, and to taxpayers, the government of Newfoundland and Labrador engaged with stakeholders of the Public Service Pension Plan and the Teachers' Pension Plan beginning back in December of 2012. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've watched closely as jurisdictions across the country set about finding their own pension solutions, noting that some governments took unilateral action. We learned from their experiences. We engaged experts, we watched the public debate between our employer groups, and we sought advice, and most of all, we listened. Consultations have continued since that time, and they have intensified over the last few months, during which time we have been working closely with stakeholders of the Public Service Pension Plan. I won't tell you that the process was easy, but at the end of the day, we all had a common goal: to see the funding, health of the plan restored, while continuing to provide a decent and reasonable pension for our employees. I'm therefore pleased to announce today that we have worked together and collaboratively reached an agreement to ensure the sustainability of the Public Service Pension Plan for our employees and for the taxpayers of the province. The stakeholders, and I'm very pleased that they are here with us today, include, on the far right, Wayne Lucas, representing CUPE. Next is Bert Blunden, the Treasurer, and Carol Furlong, representing the Newfoundland Association of Public Employees, NAPE. To my left, of course, I'm joined by the best finance minister in Canada, Charlene Johnson. To Charlene's left is Debbie Ford, the President of the Newfoundland Labrador Nurses Union. To her left is Virginia Whitten of the Association of Allied Health Professionals. And to Virginia's left is Jabez Lane of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I'm pleased to be joined by the leadership of these unions today, and I want to thank them for their hard work, their long hours, and the commitment to this process, and for working with us to find a solution that works for the people of our province. I want in particular acknowledge the efforts of Finance Minister Johnson, a colleague and friend, and it was through her commitment to this process, along with previous ministers such as Minister Jerome Kennedy before her, that we are here today. I want to thank the staff of the Department of Finance and the Human Resources Secretariat, as well as the Department of Justice, for their long hours and guidance to all of us during this process. We knew we'd need to find our own way to pension sustainability, and we made commitments to the employees and retirees last year that would guide the process that led to a solution made here in Newfoundland and Labrador that is fair to both the public service employees as well as to the taxpayers of the province. We are pleased to keep those commitments. Firstly, as indicated during the fall update, the fall financial update, I personally believe in defined benefit plans. I said at the time that I'm not a proponent of the view that we should go to a defined contribution plan, which had been recommended. I believe that the taxpayers of Newfoundland and Labrador would expect that their employees to have a decent and reasonable retirement plans. I maintain that view, and I'm pleased to confirm today that the public service pension plan will remain as a defined benefit plan. Secondly, for those who are already retired, our current pensioners, they will not see their pensions adversely affected in any way as a result of this agreement. I know that some jurisdictions have asked that retirees give up indexation as their contribution to the unfunded pension liability, or to do so if the plan is not funded to a certain extent. The taxpayers of this province will take responsibility for current retirees. We cannot see how people that are retired, how can they make additional contributions, or how can they take reductions in their benefits? They don't have time to adjust for any changes. We also said that we would protect accrued pension benefits that have been earned to date, that we would not take away from anyone benefits that had accrued under the pension plan. So changes to the pension formula, changes to the benefits, changes to the age for pension eligibility, and suspension of indexing will apply to future service only and not to past service. With respect to the changes in the early retirement rules, we provided a 5-year transition period so that current employees can have time to make important decisions concerning their future. The agreed upon changes to the pension plan will be enshrined in legislation later this year. These changes, combined with contributions by the government to the plan, are projected to bring the plan to a 100% funded status within 30 years, thereby eliminating a $4 billion unfunded pension liability in the public service pension plan. In order to achieve this, both government and stakeholders have agreed to matching contribution increases. In addition, government will pay $195 million a year for 30 years to amortize a promissory note of $2.685 billion to the public service pension plan. Stakeholders have agreed to make changes to the plan and further matching contribution rate increases with a value of $1.128 billion. We have also agreed upon joint trusteeship and joint sponsorship. This means that both the government and the stakeholders will share all future deficits and surpluses equally. What is important today for all residents of the province is to note that this agreement is contingent on stakeholders agreeing to the terms and conditions required to implement the principle of joint trusteeship of the plan, meaning, as I just said, that both governments and stakeholders will be responsible for the plan and will share equally surpluses and deficits. The government guarantee of funding 100% of the deficiency for this plan will be removed. An independent corporation will be established to oversee the trust agreement, the administration of the plan, and the funding policy. Legislation will set out the framework for the corporation and will be introduced in the fall sitting of the House of Assembly. The board of directors will be selected by government and by stakeholders, and the administration will be done by professionals who will have a fiduciary duty to the stakeholders. Today marks a major milestone. I'm very pleased with the dedication of those that have been involved in the process, and I want to thank the employees and the public for their patience as we work towards this solution. I'm confident going forward that the public service pension plan will remain an attractive plan with good governance, administered by professionals, independent of government, and will not be an undue financial burden to the taxpayers of Newfoundland and Labrador. This agreement marks a pivotal change in the direction of future retirement security of over 27,000 public sector employees. We were headed down a road of growing liabilities that neither the members nor the taxpayers could possibly sustain. Some of you may be familiar with a book recently published by Jim Leach and Jackie McNeish. Jim Leach, the book is called The Third Rail. Jim Leach was, I understand, the head of the Ontario Teachers Plan in it. And Jackie McNeish is a well-known business writer, author. And this is a book about pension reform in the Netherlands, how they went about it, how they went about it in Rhode Island, and how they went about it in New Brunswick. So you wonder why a book on pension reform would be called The Third Rail. And they were referring to the third rail in a subway system. And evidently, if you touch the third rail, you die. You're killed. You're electrocuted. The authors of the book referred to pension reform for politicians in this country as the third rail, because it was felt that if politicians touched it, they would die. But government and our union leaders knew that we had a collective responsibility to take our heads out of the sand and to stop kicking this issue down the road for someone else to deal with in the future. And we had to confront this very issue. I think we had to, as Carol said to me once, we had to spend less time worrying about winning our jobs and more time concerned about doing our jobs. I can confidently say today that we found a solution and we have agreed upon a plan through a meaningful process that will ensure the sustainability of the public service pension plan. I thank everyone involved for their hard work and dedication and their courage in this matter. I now want to invite the Minister of Finance, the President of the Treasury Board, and the Minister responsible for the Human Resource Secretariat, Charlene Johnson, to further explain the specific benefit changes outlined in the agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those following along with the projector, my remarks will continue on the slides. Thank you, Premier. I would like to echo the Premier's remarks and say that I'm incredibly pleased to be announcing this agreement here today and to be joined by stakeholders to inform the province that together we have found a solution to address the challenges facing the public service pension plan. Today is a result of a tremendous amount of hard work on behalf of both officials from the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador and the stakeholders of the public service pension plan. But the hard work has paid off, and we will see the results of it now and into the future. The agreement we are announcing today will put us on a path to sustainability with the public sector pension plan. At the same time, we needed to reduce the burden of the unfunded liability for all taxpayers. With today's agreement, we have achieved these goals. In Budget 2013, our government outlined in the 10-year sustainability plan specific goals to ensure continued sound fiscal management over the long term. This included a commitment to eliminate deficits, return to surplus budget in 2015-16, and maintain a strong financial position. The plan also identified pension and other post-employment liabilities reform as a key area for our government. The Premier has described the seriousness of the issue again today. There was no denying that changes had to be made. We committed to consulting with stakeholders in an open and transparent manner to discuss options to ensure sustainability of the plan. We have been open with the public about these consultations and our commitment to make the public service pension plan a viable one. Today, we see the successful results of those consultations and an important step in eliminating deficits and maintaining a strong fiscal position for Newfoundland and Labrador. As the Premier has stated, current retirees will not see their pensions impacted, and the plan will remain as a defined benefit plan. With government's contribution and benefit changes, modeling shows that there is an 83.6% likelihood that the PSPP plan will be fully funded within 30 years. A very meaningful element of what we are announcing today is the agreement on joint trusteeship. This will ensure that both government and plan members will be responsible for the sustainability of the plan into the future. The importance of joint trusteeship cannot be overstated. This will mean that government and members share equally in surpluses and deficits, and any future deficit is no longer fully on the taxpayer. The plan will be managed jointly by government and unions representing employees of the PSPP, and any future liability will no longer be 100% on taxpayers, but will be shared equally. I would now like to outline the changes that current and future employees will see to their pension plan. These include matching contribution increases of 2.15% of all pensionable earnings for all plan members and an additional 1.1% for the portion of pensionable earnings above the year's maximum pensionable earnings, an amount defined annually by the Canada Pension Plan. So for 2014, that amount is $52,500. This is the first increase to premiums since October 1st, 2002. The pension benefit associated with future service will be calculated using the best 6-year average earnings instead of the current formula of 5 years. For existing employees, their accrued benefits will be frozen at the date of the plan changes, and a frozen best average 5 years of earnings will be calculated. Accordingly, an employee's past service will be calculated on the basis of the higher of the frozen best average 5-year earnings or the best average 6-year earnings. Benefits for new employees will be calculated using the best 6-year average earnings. Early retirement with an unreduced pension at age 60 with a minimum of 10 years of service, an increase from 5 years, or age 58, an increase from 55 years, with a minimum of 30 years of service for current employees. This includes a 5-year transition period for existing employees. So any existing employee who meets the old unreduced retirement rules of 55 and 30 or 60 and 5 in those 5 years can retire under the old rules. Early retirement with a reduced pension at age 55 with a minimum of 5 years of service. Age 53 increase from 50 with a minimum of 30 years of service. And age 59 with 29 years of service, including a 5-year window for existing employees. So any existing employee can retire with a reduced pension under the old rules if they meet the eligibility requirement of 50 and 30, 50 and 5, or if they are at least 55 and a combination of their age and years of service equal to 85 on or before the end of the 5-year window. Eligibility for a pension and at least 10 years of service will be required for entitlement to other post-employment benefits such as health insurance, with a 5-year transition period for existing employees and those who have already ended their employment and opted for a deferred pension. Employees who leave the service after changes are in effect will have to be pension eligible at that time in order to qualify for OPEBs. They will continue to have a choice to defer their pension or receive a commuted value. And indexing on future service will be suspended. We recognize that any time benefits are changed, there will be an impact on employees. However, together we have aimed to achieve a balance. A transition period on early retirement age, for example, will allow people to make important decisions about their future. They can choose to work longer to receive the same pension they would have previously received. We've also allowed for grandparenting. There are 2 ways an employee can be grandparented at the end of the 5-year transition period. Active or deferred members with 55 of age and 30 years, or 60 years of age and 5 years of service prior to the end of the transition period can receive early unreduced retirement any time after the transition period. Or active or deferred employees with 30 years of service prior to the end of the transition period can receive an unreduced retirement any time after the transition period after they reach 55 years of age. We are still confident that the Public Service Pension Plan is an excellent plan that recognizes the important contribution our public employees make to the province each and every day. As we move forward in this process and bring this legislation to the House of Assembly this fall, more specific information will be available. Beginning Wednesday afternoon, we will have a toll-free number available for employees to call and ask questions. The Human Resource Secretariat website also has information available about pension changes. I encourage all public service employees to review this announcement on the website and to stay informed through government announcements and information from their unions. I would like to thank the Premier for his leadership on this issue. He has been dedicated to ensuring pension sustainability since he came to office many years ago. It took courage and determination to take on this important issue, but future generations will be glad that he did. And I'm sure he's pleased to sit at this table today and announce our way forward on pension reform. And I, for one, certainly appreciate your leadership on this issue, Premier. I would also like to thank union leaders for their vision and their commitment to this process, and for their leadership in ensuring that their members have a viable plan now and into the future. As well, thank you to the staff of the Department of Finance and the Human Resource Secretariat for their hard work on this important issue. Many lives have been on hold for the last number of months, and that certainly goes not unnoticed. In closing, I would also like to thank employees of the public service for the hard work and commitment you bring to your jobs each and every day. We value the important work that you do, and we are pleased to reach a deal together that will ensure your pension is not only sustainable for you for years to come, but provides the valuable benefits that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I can't overemphasize enough the contribution that Minister Johnson has made to this process. As a former finance minister and president of the Treasury Board, I think Minister Johnson was the one who got this issue and could understand my views and feelings why we had to address it. It was so important. And when she became finance minister, I asked her to do one, after the budget, of all the things on her plate, to get one thing done, if nothing else, and that was to deal with this. And she's been a remarkable lead on this file, and I thank her for it, and I thank her in particular for putting her private life on hold to stay here to see this through to the end. Thank you, Charlene. And I want to call upon Carol Furlong, the president of NAPE.
Yes, thank you, Premier. I'm very pleased to be here today to sign this agreement that we have reached with the provincial government on behalf of public sector workers. And I want to tell you that this has been a very arduous task, that over the past month or so, we have been very aggressive, all of us, in trying to reach an agreement so that we could ensure that some of our objectives were met. The objectives that we had in particular there were two objectives that we had. One was that we would ensure and maintain a defined benefit plan. Our second objective was that we would ensure that members' pension benefits were protected now and into the future. And we wanted to achieve those with the least negative impact on the membership. And we have done that. We have accomplished that. And we're very pleased to be able to say that here today. There are a number of factors that are involved in this that the Minister has taken you through, and we discussed them on our website and in a video that I have on our website for NAPE members to actually go in and review. But I want to point out to you that there were some things here that are very important to us. One is that we have agreed to move to a joint trusteeship. That means for our members that the union will have a significant say in any issues pertaining to the public service pension plan. No longer will government be able to unilaterally, arbitrarily, or independently make changes to your pension plan. The unions will be will have sponsorship in that plan and have equal say in any changes to your plans in the future. The joint trusteeship, of course, is a very significant undertaking, and will take us another while before we can hammer down the finite details of that. But we will be working very aggressively as well on that to ensure that that is achieved in the very near future also. It's going to give us not only equal say, but it will ensure that from where we sit, that plan is going to be secure. The main issue for us was ensuring and protecting that plan for membership, and we're looking at that now with a view that it will be fully funded, and that we'll be able to ensure the protection for our members. As I said, it was an extremely arduous and difficult process for us. Any change, as you know, is not easy, and we were left with very few options. Our plan was in significant financial trouble. We wanted to make sure that the problems that were in that plan were addressed to ensure that our members were secure in their retirement. And so the changes that we have made are significant in that we did find options that had the least impact for the membership, and we're very pleased to be able to do that. I want to take this opportunity to thank Premier Marshall, and to thank Minister Johnson, who have been very much a part of this, very intimately a part of this process as well, and have been available to us, and in particular for their dedication and commitment to ensuring a defined benefit plan for our members, public sector workers. We know in other parts of the country, and even in this province right now, pension plans in other areas are under attack, and it is a fight to try and ensure that a defined benefits plan is secure. So I want to thank them for that, and I want to say that we're very pleased to have worked with the other unions as well in ensuring that the commitment that we made to our members, that we would ensure and protect their pension plans now and into the future with the least impact on them, has been realised. And I want to thank all of the parties for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. I now ask Debbie Forward, the representative of the Newfoundland Labrador Nurses Union, to say a few words.
Thank you, Premier. And I would like to begin by acknowledging Premier Marshall and Minister Johnson for offering the public sector unions an opportunity to take part in these consultations. We entered these discussions with the objective of having a positive influence on the final outcome, and I believe that together we achieved this goal. We are supportive of the changes announced today, and which will stabilize funding and ensure the continuation of a defined benefit structure for current and future employees of Newfoundland and Labrador in the public sector. Maintaining a defined benefit structure is a significant element of this agreement, and I think we can't say that often enough. This is especially true as consultations took place in an environment where there's considerable pressure to move away from a defined benefit plan. And defined benefit plans, we knew, offer the greatest security to plan members by ensuring a retirement income that is secure and predictable. As it's been outlined this afternoon, the pension plan was significantly underfunded, and restructuring of the PSPP was necessary to ensure the viability and sustainability of the plan. While we successfully address the unfunded liability and minimize the impact on our members, we know that changes will occur. And we know that our members will have a lot of questions about what these changes mean for them. It's very complex, and they will be hearing a lot of this for the first time, and it will be overwhelming to them at times. So there will be mechanisms where we can make sure our members get the information that they need to understand how these changes impact them. Government will have mechanisms through what they'll be setting up on their website and an information line, as well as individual unions, and our union ourselves will have information for our members on our website. But it is complex, and we know our members, when they hear this, will be stressed about what change will mean. As the Minister and the Premier outlined, the MOU that we'll be signing today includes a framework to establish joint trusteeship. And when that joint trusteeship is finalized, the public sector unions will share in the governance of our pension plan. And this is an important first step forward, as it means government and unions will have equal say in all decision-making in the future, including investment decisions and any future plan changes. And we certainly look forward to continuing those discussions with government in the coming weeks as we finalize the joint trusteeship arrangement. And we're able to put that, I guess, in writing and sign that document as well, because it is a significant step forward to secure pensions, a defined benefit pension plan for our province into the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. I'm now going to ask Wayne Lucas to speak on behalf of CUPE.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Premier. I'd like to start off by thanking the other unions for their hard work and dedication. And I'd also like to single out two people from the CUPE ranks. That's Sister Dawn Learning, who actually gave up a month's vacation so that she can work around the clock on the pension issue. And then we had a brother by the name of Mark Jensen. And Mark came down, fell in love in Newfoundland, and married a girl last Saturday night. So that's good news. But CUPE came to the table in order to make sure that our members, I'm sorry, I omitted to say thank you very much to the Premier for his knowledge of pensions, to the Finance Minister. I don't know if I want to thank her for the 2 o'clock in the morning phone calls and say we got to get this settled now. But certainly, you know, for all the hard work by everybody right around the clock. Again, you know, CUPE came to the table because we were concerned and we want to make sure that CUPE members were protected. And we firmly believe in dignity in retirement for everyone. The plan has been experiencing funding problems, and we've been worried for a long period of time of the security of the pension plan for our members. The deal we have struck with the provincial government is one we are very supportive of. It maintains a defined benefit future of the plan, which CUPE feels is necessary for any pension deal we are involved with. There is also a 5-year phase-in period. This deal protects our members' pensions for the future. It also moves us into a jointly sponsored pension plan, which gives us a long-desired say, equal say, over key decisions. Once again, we'll be taking the message back to our members with telephone town hall meetings and starting tomorrow night with a all presidents meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. I'd now ask Virginia Whitten to speak on behalf of the Association of Allied Health Professionals.
Thank you. The Association of Allied Health Professionals would like to thank all the stakeholders and the government for the hard work that we have all done together on this agreement. Maintaining a defined benefit plan for our members and for the future generations has been our goal, and we are happy to report that we have accomplished this. AAHP feels this is the best possible agreement we could get in the least intrusive way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now invite Jabez Lane to speak on behalf of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Jabez.
IBEW agrees with what other unions leaders have said, and thank everybody for the hard work in maintaining the defined pension plan for now and the future. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's sign. Let's get this done before Carol changes her mind.